Good afternoon, Mr. Sorlie.
Good afternoon, sirs.
Please state your full name and DOC number for the record, please.
Dustin, Dustin, Sorlie, Sorlie, 303-1546, sirs.
Thank you. My name is Durabell. I'll be conducting your hearing today. The other two board members are Jimmy Pertalis and Brad Newman. We also have your mother and father that wish to give a statement later in this hearing, and Todd Nelson, who is a friend of your father's that's listening in, okay?
Okay, sir.
And I also want you to know that the board did receive letters from a Daryl Wagner, Miss Hendricks, and Miss Lloyd, and also the supplemental information from Mr. Knowles was submitted to the board also.
Sir,
Yes,
did you also receive Dr. Bowman-Smelko's
yes,
psychological?
that is also part of your record.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And reading Mr. Knowles' brief, basically the front half or front part basically has to do with you're challenging the conviction sentencing, prison officials. That's not a matter of us for our jurisdiction, but the later part of it is in regards to rehabilitation and pro support. Those are proper issues for us to consider, okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you've had numerous hearings with the board, several rescissions hearings. I want to kind of go through a background to make sure I have the information correct. I show a prison placement of 2/9 of 2022. I see on 8/18 of 22, you're granted parole. I show on 12/15 of 22, you're rescinded for communication, which you should not have been doing. But you were giving parole upon completion of a pre-release. During that time, there was apparently an ongoing investigation going on. You had another rescission on 6/22 of 2023. It appears that that one was in regards to refusing to go to Butte pre-release, but also it was brought to the attention of the board that there was an order of revocation in place. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I show with that order of revocation and imposed a sentence, it changed your sentencing. It was 10 with 7 suspended. And then with the resentencing, it's 10 with 3 suspended. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at the last rescission, you were told that you would appear in front of the board upon your next pro eligibility date, so that brought you to this date, correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. I just want to make sure the facts are correct. Sir, tell me about the initial charge.
My ex-wife, who is incarcerated in the Montana Women's Prison, and myself had telephone communications. During those verbal exchanges, I regretfully and immaturely made egregious statements that to push away that individual and to sever communication with that individual, sir. I mean, they're my actions, and I'm sorry and ashamed for the decisions I made to put my life in this position.
Well, you know, we didn't do the investigation, but from what I'm reading from the court document is that the evidence showed that you manipulated someone to follow through with your threats and interference with the victim's parole, manufactured his desired outcome, tracking, indirectly communicating with the victim through this manipulation. I guess because of the protective orders and the orders for another communication and the court orders and all that, what drove you to communicating at all?
In the beginning, or
Both, ever?
the first time was I was in a toxic relationship, sir, and I was trying to remove myself from it. I was trying to move past that, and it just it was like quicksand. I couldn't get away from it. And the last time I spoke to an advocate, a person that was, I believed that was advocating, and they wanted to know the story and everything that was happening. And I was telling her what happened, and I was unaware she went out and talked to all these until later she was doing whatever she was doing.
So that was the first time?
That was the first and second time. The second time, sir, was I was speaking here with a person that I believed was an advocate and was advocating for a prisoner. And I gave some information, like I was talking to that person, and it didn't turn out to be that way.
No, it's
I made a mistake, and
well, it's disturbing that one time is disturbing, but a second time, can you just not let go, or?
yes, sir. I don't want anything to do with that part. I want to move past this and show that that mistake doesn't define me. That's not who I am.
You know, this behavior does concern the board as it did the courts. You know, we need to make sure that citizens are protected, communities are protected. What steps have you taken since you've gotten back to, I guess, help you with your decision-making, your thoughts?
I've conducted myself in a respectful, considerate, and courteous manner and productive manner at all times. While being here at Dustin County Correctional Facility, I've maintained employment and I've held several positions here. I've been the county swamper, a pod swamper, a hall swamper, and now the librarian, sir. And I've performed all those duties with a positive attitude and good disposition. I have also I've tentatively set up therapy with Miss Montez. I believe you guys have her letter. She, I told she will do therapy, power and control issues, healthy communication skills, family counseling, anger management, and victims impact. I've taken anger management and all the courses on the tablet. I've prepared myself. Like I've let a lot of people down, like my family and stuff, and I want to show them that I can succeed.
Well, the new disposition from the court says they imposed other conditions. You successfully complete domestic violence class, such as the one recently added to the Dawson County facility. Are you enrolled in that? Have you started that?
No, I talked to the case manager here when it was on the piece of paper, and I informed her that I have that. Miss Montez, the licensed clinical psychological counselor, I made her aware of it and set it up with her, and I've put steps in place to obtain that.
And it also says here you should successfully complete victim impact. Have you started that there at all?
Not here, sir.
Okay.
But I have set all that up with Miss Montez.
Okay. And I want to congratulate you. There's no disciplinary action.
No, sir.
No previous supervision. You're not scheduled for any type. You've had a CD evaluation, nothing there for follow-up or mental health. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. And what are you asking the board to consider today?
Well, in unison with my support group and my family, I have constructed a really structured parole plan for success. That the plan allows me to fulfill all obligations and responsibilities And it also allows me to return to be a valuable member of society. And I have my folks, and I have a place to go. I have a job, a couple employments waiting for me. I've got a elaborate, very successful treatment plan with Miss Montez set up. I believe my plan will allow me to do all those things, sir.
Well, let's go through your plan. Where would
Yes.
you live?
I would live at 3455 McGurl Road, which is my mother's house with
Okay,
my mother.
Who all lives there?
My mother.
Okay. And tell me your employment.
I have two positions. My father works for Knife River Construction, and I can get I've spoken with him, and I can obtain employment with them right away. And Mr. Wagner has told me I could get another secondary job.
Okay.
So I have
And your
employment.
support systems, your family, anybody else?
My family, Mr. Knowles couldn't make it today. I have a lot of support. Miss Hedricks, Spring,
Okay.
all those letters you received. I have a great monumental deal of support.
Okay. And I'm reading here that you have, as you said earlier, your counseling, skills therapy lined up with the Place for Hope counseling.
Yes, sir.
And let's see here. We do have a letter from them on that.
Yes, sir.
What assurance do we have with this continued contact with your ex-wife?
There will never be any contact, sir.
Well,
I don't want to be a statistic of recidivism, and I don't want to be in a toxic environment or relationship like that ever again, sir.
I mean, you're incarcerated and you're doing this recorded contact with her.
I was speaking to Miss May Simmons, and
Correct?
I wasn't aware of what that individual was doing on the other side, sir. I didn't. I guess I was talking to May, and I didn't understand what she was doing. Like, I didn't understand any of that contact was going on or any part of that. And I made a mistake in talking to that individual, and I haven't spoken with that person since.
The other board members have any questions of Mr. Sorlie today?
Mr. Sorlie, your pro plan talks about some aftercare with a Place for Hope counseling. Have you previously worked with those providers? Will this be a new provider for you? Tell me a little bit about how you got in touch with them.
So Angela Montez used to be, we have previous employment. She used to be at the prison in Hardin that I was employed at, and she was a counselor with them, and I knew she's a licensed clinical psychological counselor, and she worked there to help inmates before, and then she went out, and she worked at Riverstone Health for a minute and my mom knows her because my mom was the nurse for the prison, and so we've known Miss Montez for a great amount of time. I've never been on the side of counseling with her, and so I reached out to her, and I wanted to make sure that I could meet all obligations of my sentencing paperwork and anything that you board members have imposed. And I wanted to make sure I could address why I'm here and take that time to fix it. And so I have never went to counseling or been through therapy like I plan to. The only thing that's close to that is I went to Dr. Bowman Smelko, and I took what he talked to me about, and he said this is what I'd recommend for you, so I wanted to be able to implement what he wanted me to do, sir.
Okay, so your understanding, I take it, is not only are they able to provide, general supportive counseling, they've actually worked with folks in similar circumstances. They've worked with offenders who are looking for particular types of counseling. Is that right?
She has, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Nothing further, Mr. Bell.
Thank
I do
you.
not have anything in any questions of Mr. Sorlie. Thank you, Mr. Bell.
Thank you. Be a good time to hear from witness. Have your mother hit *6. That'll let you into the boardroom.
This is Lynn.
Yeah, we can hear you. Well, could you tell the board how you could support Dustin if he was given the opportunity to parole?
Well, of course, I do have my home right there, and I can provide him with a vehicle and make sure he follows his counseling recommendations. And there would also be financial support there, which is handier. One of the big problems that I've seen is he hasn't been getting any counseling when he's been incarcerated. And so I'd like to make sure he can get the opportunity to do that.
Board members have any questions of this witness?
I do not, Mr. Bell. Thank you.
No questions. Thank you for your statement, ma'am.
We'll start, Mr. Sorlie, if you hit *6, that'll let you into the boardroom. And if you would please address the board of how you would support your son if he was given parole.
Yes, sir. Thanks for hearing me today. My company where I work has employed several people who have been on parole before, and they have been successful and came out and been productive in society. I can get him a job here. They're willing to hire him. Daryl Wagner give him a job working for him on secondary. Got of course, wintertime we kind of slow down, but he'll have insurance and everything, so he won't be a burden on taxpayers and all. He'll be gainfully employed and with a good company.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Board members have any questions
Thank
of
you.
this witness?
I do not, Mr. Bell. Thank you.
I don't have any questions for the witness. Thank you for your statement.
Board members have any questions for Dustin Sorlie?
I do not.
No additional questions for Mr. Sorlie. Thank you.
Mr. Sorlie, I'll let you have the last word. Is there anything we have not discussed in regards to your parole plan or anything you'd like to discuss with the board prior to us making our decision?
Yes, sir. I've really used my time to better myself to the best advantages I can, and I'd like to continue to do that. I've used my time for self-reflection and understanding and addressing why I'm really here. And I really don't want, like, my family and support group and has really sacrificed a lot for me, and I'm grateful and thankful for them. And I really would like the opportunity with the grace and decision of the board to let me prove that. And I don't want to let anybody down, especially you gentlemen with the board. I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let my family down, and I don't want to fail.
Thank you. We're going to put you and your witnesses in a virtual waiting room. We'll have a discussion and come back with our decision, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
This decision, it's unanimous. We're going to deny your parole, set you for a reappearance in 1 year. Reason for denial, nature, severity, defense, need for risk reduction programming, pattern or similar misconduct. Sir, we'd like you to complete that domestic violence program and victim impact. Apparently, Dawson County is having those programs made available. And any programming to address your criminal thoughts and behaviors. And we'll see you in 1 year, sir.
Okay, sir.
Good luck, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Petals. Thank you, Mr. Newman, and thank you, Mr. Bell.
Bet.